Hey YouTube, it's AmySDmom and this is Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works and I am your Wednesday vlogger. I'm glad that Rosemary gave us this question for this week because I feel that this is something that you need to carry on your back every day and remember throughout your journey to remember where you came from. This week's question is about breaking point and where you've come with your successes since then. I'm going to try to tell a story. I'm not a great storyteller, but I would say that the straw that broke my back had to have started in October of 2008. This was right before my 30th birthday. This should have set me over the edge, but this was just a little notch. I had lost lots of weight, 100 pounds over and over again, and if you watch my channel I talk about this all the time. I'm not going to go into that, but I am going to share some visuals. In October of 2008 we had the Marine Corps Ball, which we have every year, but this time was different. It had been a few years since I had gone to one because my husband happened to be overseas for the prior 2 or 3 years, so I didn't have to dress up and go. But this year it was kind of important. It was his first ball as an NCO. He had picked up Staff Sergeant, and we haven't been able to go to one in quite a while. And I spent a lot of time trying to find a dress. I don't know how much I weighed at this point. I'm guessing I was probably well over 300 pounds. I couldn't find anything that fit, and I had to ask my mom, which was a seamstress, to help me make a dress that was big enough to fit me. I have that dress, and it's been in a couple of my videos, and I will keep it forever. Let's see if I can show you guys this dress. I can pretty much fit into like one boob of this dress. Yes. I had a bust size of almost 50 inches, or almost 60 inches. I could not get into anything. I don't know what size this dress would be, but I'm guessing probably a 26, 28. And being as tall as I am, that's a pretty big size to be wearing. Here you go, you guys can see. Yeah, I will keep this forever to remind me of where I came from. But that actually wasn't, that was just a notch. That didn't really set me over the edge. It was very upsetting, but I still enjoyed it. I was able to get a dress that fit. You know, we made one, so I was happy. The next month, in November, the month of my birthday, I went to China. I had started a business and I had to go over there and find a factory. So we set up some meetings. I actually went over there for about 2 weeks. And my business partner and her husband came with. At this point, I don't know how much I weighed, 300 pounds. I don't know. I was a size 24, very, very tight 24. And Dina, my business partner, is, I don't know, 5'1". She was maybe 115 pounds. Teeny girl. Starting off the trip, 18-hour flight in a regular airplane. Oh, my kitty's playing. Just sitting in the seat was extremely uncomfortable. By the time I had gotten off the plane, my hips were bruised from fitting into the seat because I had a very, very wide hips, and it was very tight. I hadn't slept. It was miserable. I was miserable. So uncomfortable. And we get to China, and we're in a city called Xiamen. It's on the coast where they don't get a lot of Americans. And the only Americans that they get are factory owners, business owners. Very few. It's not a tourist area. And I felt like I was the biggest person in the country. The Chinese people are so small. I was huge. I was stared at. People were looking at me like I was a freaking alien. I know that just being an American, you know, people would look at you, but I was huge. I felt terrible. I had to do a lot of walking, and I also had to do some domestic flying. Well, you guys know how airplane seats are here in the US. They're not very big. Chinese domestic flights, their airplane seats are even smaller. I had to force myself into that seat, and it was painful. Extremely painful. I felt like a sausage just squished into that seat. It was horrifying. And then we got to Guangzhou, which is a city where they sell a lot of fabrics and stuff. We had to go to different fabric factories, and there is no cars in Guangzhou. It's either walking or motorcycles. So we did a lot of walking. I was in so much pain just from walking. I had actually not brought shoes that were comfortable for walking, but at 300 pounds it's not comfortable walking anyways. I had rubbed holes in my shoes. It was extremely painful. Another thing, when you're in China, the toilets are not regular toilets. It's like a hole in the ground, and you have to squat. You have to kind of crouch down and hold yourself up to go to the bathroom. I know this is really graphic, but because I was so heavy, I had a really hard time holding myself up just to go pee. That whole trip made me feel how morbidly obese I actually was. It was so traumatic for me. When I came back, I had bruises on my hips. I had hundreds of pictures, which I ended up deleting and getting rid of me in beautiful China. Huge. I didn't want to look at the pictures. I felt the pain of being a big blob. That was it. At that point, I told myself, I don't care what it takes. I have to lose this weight, and I need to keep it off. And I started doing research online about weight loss surgery, and it didn't take me very long to decide that the vertical sleeve was for me. Just going into the doctor to ask for this surgery was a huge thing for me. I had a traumatizing experience in the hospital. I had almost died years before, and just going to the doctors, just stepping in the hospital caused me to have panic attacks and anxiety. So it was really hard for me to go in and ask my doctor. I was like shaking and crying the whole time. It was just so traumatic for me to be asking for another surgery. It was also hard on my husband at that point because he had saw what I had gone through with my prior surgery. But it was a decision that I had to make, and I knew at that point that I was going to make this change forever. And I've taken this entire journey extremely, very serious, because I invested so much in myself to get to where I am. I want to stay here. I'm also going to share some pictures. I don't know if you guys can see these. But these are some pictures of me before. This is when my daughter was born. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Again, I don't know how much I weighed there. This is me also. I don't recognize this person anymore. I truly don't. There's another picture of me. I'm hoping you guys can see this. And there I am. And this picture is me at goal for a year and running my first half marathon. Obviously, I don't really need to say too much about the changes. I've lost 150 pounds. I've kept it off for 2 years. I am a marathon runner. I am an athlete. I am extremely different than that person that stepped on that plane and went to China. I am Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.